Welcome back to the video from Anth.Tech, and right here I have the brand new Moto Z2 Force, and this was sent out by Verizon, so I'd like to give a huge thanks to them for sending this out, but that will not alter everything I say in this video. But other than that, let's go and dive into the review for the Motorola Z2 Force. Here is the Moto Z2 Force in black, and the first thing you can tell is that this is a very ordinary smartphone design with pretty big bezels. Taking a look around the back of the Z2 Force, it has very nice anodized aluminum plate, which is a fingerprint magnet, but then it has a ring of plastic on the edge. And then at the bottom is going to be the Moto Mod gold contact plates. That way you can connect your Moto Mods like the projector or the extra battery pack. Taking a look around the sides of the Z2 Force is going to be at the bottom is the USB-C for charging. There's no wireless charging, which is a bummer. Heading over to the right side is the power button, and which is textured, and then up above that is going to be the volume rocker. Heading to the top is a SIM tray, and it also has a micro SD card in there, and an antenna band, and also a microphone. Heading over to the left side is nothing. Then flipping it over to the back again is the Moto Mod's gold contact pins. Hitting inside of the Z2 Force is a beefy Snapdragon 835, getting a single core score in Geekbench 4 of 1,896 and a multi-core score of 6,564. This also is paired with 4 GB of RAM. Now all of this is running the latest and greatest Android Nougat 7.1.1, and all of this is very snappy at opening apps, and from my testing I haven't seen any lag, which is obviously awesome. Now heading into the display, Moto is using a 5.5-inch OLED panel at 1440 by 2560, which at this point is like a standard, which has 534 pixels per inch or PPI. This also has a 70.4 screen to body ratio, and that can blame the bezels. Now the screen here is not Gorilla Glass, it is actually plastic. Now I know what you might be thinking, this is not very durable, but it actually really is, and it is actually shatterproof. But the downside is it scratches really easy. So I would definitely pick up a screen protector, which is pretty much guaranteeing you that you will not break it, which is obviously very nice. Then for the fingerprint reader, it is very fast, just like my S8 Plus. Now taking a look at the camera here on the Z2 Force, swiping over will bring you the settings, like shutter sound and quick capture. But for photos on the rear camera, I'm going to switch this to 16:9, so that way it looks more natural instead of 4:3. Now for video, you can shoot at 4K at 30 frames per second, which is also pretty much standard. And then for video slow-mo, you can shoot at 1080p at 120 frames per second or 720p at 240 frames per second, which is really cool. So heading into the live camera viewer, there's minimal lag, which is awesome to see when moving around. Now Moto did something very weird here on the back, which has the second cameras. They have the second camera, which is called True Black and White, which has a monochrome sensor, which is very weird, and I think an app can do pretty much the same exact thing. Now most people will want like a wider angle lens found on the G6 or a zoom lens found on the iPhone 7 Plus, which is better for a second camera and not a monochrome. Flipping it over, Moto decided to add a real front dual tone flash, which I guess is pretty nice to have for taking selfies at night. Then here you can see the emoji camera, which looks pretty silly, but I guess this is how Moto decided to design the phone. Lastly is going to be the sound test, and this is powered up by one front facing speaker, which is the earpiece, which is used for calling, but it is now the speaker. Okay, that's going to wrap up my review for the Motorola Z2 Force, and I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, the link to it down below where you go and check it out, and I'll take you into Verizon's website, but on the Z2 Force's page, that way it's easy for you to find it. And if you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button down below, and I'd really appreciate it if you can subscribe to the channel, as it really helps out, and as always, stay classy.